going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. We are in Warframe, and this time this build is gonna be the Ankyros Prime build. As I've said in the past, the Ankyros is okay. Ankyros Prime just seems to be so much better. So that's one of those things you're gonna want to get your hands on, the Ankyros Prime, if you want to do this one best. I don't know why. It just seems different than the regular one, but it just seems much more powerful in terms of play from when I've used it. So we are going to be using Fracturing Wind as the stance mod for this. It's fast multi-hit strikes with the powerful finishers, and you'll see that throughout here. I've got Zacharon with me, if I've said that right. Shouldn't be too hard to say, right? He just happened to be on when I was about to go run this, and so I took him in with me. He asked if he wanted to go, so why not? It's a 35 to 38 run, Grenier, for an alert, just so FYI. So we're really going to put this thing to the test. Excuse me, as we go through here. So Fracturing Wind. Here's the melee combos on here. Fairly simple melee combos, nothing too special. 3 of the E move specials in here, all easily able to be made as we go through. But what we want to do is go ahead and start right off here with the basic stats of what this weapon is. It's an impact heavy weapon, so 26.6 impact, puncture 5.7, slash 5.7, spin attack is 114, leap is 76, wall attack's also 114, attack speed is 1.3, the critical is 2 times 20%, so there is some critical in there. Status chance 15, stamina is 2.5. Impact heavy, so by default you'd say it is much better with Corpus than anything else, but we're going to make this thing work against the other factions as well as we do this. Just sneak up on this guy right here and quietly take him out. Okay. So where I end up on this build here, I've got a 160 puncture, 18.2, I'm sorry, 160 impact, 18.2 puncture, 18.1 slash, 326.7 corrosive. I went with corrosive on this as well. 1576 spin, 1052 leap, 1576 wall again. I'm at a 1 attack speed instead of a 1.3. My critical stayed the same, I didn't change that. The status went up to 33%. Stamina went up to 3.125. Conclave of 161 if that's what you're interested in. Okay, as you can see right there, that was a 16,000 critical, and I don't even have critical on here. It's just that this weapon is just that good in terms of its playability, and I actually like it. Like I said, I'm not much for the fisticuffs, if you will, but this one is pretty nice in terms of play. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this off. Now there are 2 V-slotted positions in here already when you get this weapon, so we're going to start right off with a pressure point, and we'll put the pressure point in there. 120% extra melee damage, base melee damage. Okay, and then on top of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add in excuse me, the heavy trauma, which is going to be another 90% impact damage, straight impact damage, which is where the weapon is focused on most anyway. Then what we're going to do is we're also going to add in that Spoiled Strike mod that we've been using on most of our melees now to get our base damage up even higher. Give us our 300 plus base damage now on our weapon. And this is useful in your combos. Your combo counter down at the bottom, obviously you got a 300%, and the higher you combo, the higher that calculation goes. 1.5 times, 2 times, 2.5 times, that type of deal. So you can really bring up your basic damage kill, your basic damage hits. Like right there I had a 1.5. So it was 1.5 times my base damage that I've got on here. So you're talking like 700% base damage increase there for a couple of seconds. So you can see how that is really effective, which is why I would say on most of my builds, I will end up with heavy damage, base damage, unless it's something that's going to be a critical, then it might change around a little bit, but there'll still be a heavy amount of base damage in there. No, you ain't got nothing. I got it there, buddy. Heavy gunner. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so now you know that I like Berserker, but in this case I ended up going with a Fury mod, okay, to put in the straight 30% attack speed. I felt that this one is one of those that really just needs to just consistently have the extra attack speed, not wait for a critical to come in, because you don't always crit. I mean, you do crit a lot with it, even on the basic, but this one just needed to have that bump up in there instead of the loss from the spoiled strike. So as you can see, I do crit a lot, but not enough to constitute having the Berserker mod on this one. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to do the elementals in here. I'm going to start with focused energy. Give me a 60% electrical, 40% channeling efficiency. Even though I'm not using any channeling mods on this build, it's still good to have the efficiency when I do actually use the channeling increase anyway from time to time. Next to it, I'm actually going to use a Voltiac Strike, which is going to give me another 60% electricity, so 120% additional electricity, and a 60% status increase. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the other half of the corrosive here. I'm going to start with the Virulent Scourge. So I got 60% poison and a 60% status chance increase on here. In addition to that, I'm also going to add the Fever Strike. So 90% extra poison damage, give me an extra 150% poison damage, which is how I bring up the corrosive to a 326 in here with both the electric and poison damage mods in here. Of course, I'm using the status chance mods, specialty mods, so if you don't have them, there are alternatives that you can do with this build that'll work just fine, but I like that. I like that extra proc chance to knock out their armor reduction, if you will, so that's always a good thing. But alternatively, if you don't have that, you can still use Focused Energy and Fever Strike, or you can still use just Shocking Touch, I believe it is, for electrical and Fever Strike, and that'll get you a corrosive base in there. If you really want to fill in those two slots, what I would do alternately, if you don't have the two status mods, is I would alternately throw ahead in a Killing Blow for the extra channeling damage, since you're already using a Focused Energy. It'll help you with your energy efficiency anyway, so this can't hurt to have Killing Blow. And I would also actually add an energy channel in there to convert 200% of the energy used when using your energy hit to bonus damage on the next melee attack, and it'll store up another 200% bonus. So you could really get a lot with this energy channel and Killing Blow combined together in a build. But I'm not using that. Like I said, I'm using the double electric mods and the double poison mods to get a higher corrosive damage on here. And in addition, I've got that extra proc chance, that little bit of extra proc chance, which can't hurt at all to have in here. But as you can see, this is pretty good. Definitely. Okay. He got it before I did. It's definitely a fun one. Like I said, I didn't, for a while, I just didn't like this weapon. And I finally found it in a way that I like it, and I play it. And I'll definitely play it again. It fits perfectly with Rhino, of course. Probably work well with some other frames, but Rhino, since he's just get up and dirty right there with the iron skin. So let me just go ahead and throw the final build that I've got set up on here. Fracturing Wind, Focused Energy, Voltiac Strike, Violent Scourge, Fever Strike, and then my base damage, a Spoiled Strike, Heavy Trauma, of course, Pressure Point, and Fury for the straight attack speed, consistent 30% attack bonus speed on there. And that's about it. I mean, that's the build. It's pretty simple, but it works well. You've seen it. I've tried it on all different factions. I've tried it in the Voids. Pretty successful. No problems with it at all. Especially with with Rhino Prime here, or Rhino for that matter. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in comments. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Any questions at all, feel free to leave them below. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.